My dear friends, my dear masters, and my dear gods of the whole of the world, today we are focusing upon the most important theme in spiritual science, in the science of life of a human being. The most important fact that we should understand, the most important spiritual law that we should understand, and that is the power of thought. My dear friends, we are all thought beings. Every being is a thought being. Every being is an energy being. Every being is a knowledge being. We are all specks of energy, consciousness and knowledge. Consciousness expresses itself as, functions as thought. The whole nature, the whole creation is full of beings who are all thought beings, thinking beings. Responding to an environment, responding to an environment and changing that environment. Everything is in a dynamic state. My dear friends, everything depends upon the knowledge of a particular being, the energy of a particular being, and the thought quality of that particular being. Coming to human kingdom, human beings, the power of thought, the play of thought, the role of thought, is immense. Human beings must understand this great science of intent and effect. As you intend, so would be the effect in the environment. Intent is what you think in your mind, what you conclude in your mind. And effect is on the environment. The law concerning the power of thought is put simply as you think, so it becomes. As you intend, so is the manifestation. The outer manifestation depends upon the inner intent. Simply, as you think, so it becomes. My dear friends, my dear masters, and my dear gods of the whole of the world, today we are focusing upon this great phenomena called as the power of thought or the power of intent. Everybody's life is governed not by some other external factors, not by some God over there in the high sky. We create our own realities through our intents, through our thought patterns. I think of music because I hear some music by some other person, or the nature itself sings. Then a desire for music arises in me, and my thought pattern is captured by the desire, and I search for music. I want to learn music, then I go in search of teachers. I do learn, I do practice, and ultimately I become a musician. You see somebody playing soccer, then you want to play yourself. Then you seek out, the desire becomes strengthened. You have concluded in your mind that you will become a soccer player. You go and join a club. You go daily there to become a member. You practice and practice, then you become a soccer master yourself. So, you have heard about Jesus Christ. Since your childhood, then your mind has been captured by the whole concept of Jesus Christ, how he lived, what his message is. Then you want to become like that. Then you slowly begin to practice meditation. Then you go into the circle of similar people who want to become the same. You practice and practice, and finally you become another Jesus Christ, another soccer player, another musician. This is the order of the things. Everything arises in the mind and manifests in the outer. Any manifestation in the outer is a result, is a natural result of that which arises in the mind, in the beginning. So, Gautama Buddha saw dukkha everywhere, misery everywhere. Once he came out of the palace, then a desire sprang in him. What is the cause of this misery? His mind was captured. Then he sought. He went to so many persons. Whoever was involved in the similar search. He went to many masters. Discussed the whole problem, learnt about the whole problem, learnt whatever he could learn from each and every person concerning the question, concerning the quest. Then he practiced and practiced and practiced, and then he became enlightened. He knew the reason. He knew the whole power of thought, power of desire, power of intent, law of cause and effect, law of reincarnation. So, he became a Buddha. What he set out to become, he did become. As long as he was in the palace, there was no thought of what he wanted to do. He was in the palace, but once he came out of the palace, then a new thought pattern began. And as he thought, so he became. As he contemplated, so he became. As he decided, so he became. Had he faltered in the middle, he would not have become a Buddha. If I want to become a soccer player, my thought should continuously be on the topic. If I am wavering in my mind to become a soccer player, I would not become a soccer player. My thought pattern should be continuous. It depends upon us to maintain the thought process. Either we could continue or we can discontinue. It all depends on how much you desire or how much knowledge you have got, how much fearful you are or otherwise. If you are fearful, then the power of thought, the power of intent is so very weak that it cannot manifest. My dear friends, please remember this point. As you think, so you become. As you intend, as you make a decision in your mind, as you conclude in your mind, so it is going to happen. If you don't conclude in your mind, if you don't decide in your mind, nothing can ever manifest. We can also call it as the power of decision, power of decisive thinking, not indecisive thinking, not hanky-panky thoughts, not haphazard thinking, not like one step ahead and two steps backwards. Such kind of a thought pattern will not lead you anywhere other than create that mental disturbance in you. We should be very clear in our thought patterns, thinking patterns, decision patterns, desire patterns. If we desire something, we should go the whole hog towards it. Otherwise, we should forget about it. So, this kind of decisive thinking alone leads to successful individuals, successful human beings. Success depends upon your own self, our own self. Success depends upon the power of thought, my dear friends. This has been told by each and every master throughout the ages. There is nothing new in whatever we are saying or whatever we are hearing. Jesus spoke the same truth, Buddha spoke the same truth, Krishna spoke the same truth, Muhammad spoke the same truth, but we are not accustomed to the whole concept. We are not living the whole concept. We are not practicing the same concept. We are not able to control our minds. Therefore, we are not able to control our lives. The moment you should control your mind, take charge of your mind, Give a shape to your mind. Give a direction to your mind. Then you have given a shape to your life. You have taken charge of your life. So, your life depends upon your mind. As is your mind, so is your life. Your life is the sum total of whatever you encounter vis-a-vis the environment. And that depends solely and sparely on how your mind is. Once we know the law that the outer is created from the inner manifests itself through the power of intent, through the purity of thought as the outer, then we become truly masters, truly shaping your life, truly creating beauty in life. My dear friends, we are all creators of our own selves. As you think, so you become. So, you are not created by somebody else. You have been created by your own self. You took birth because you wanted to be born in this body, in this particular time, to this particular parents, because you decided beforehand, before you were born. When you were a citizen in the causal world, you decided, yeah, this is time to be born, time to go to the physical earth, time to physicalize yourself, undergo new lessons, undergo new experiences. Then you decided, then you chose among several parents, the parent that most is suitable to you. You chose, you intended, you made a decision. Had you not decided, then you wouldn't be here, my dear friends. Nobody comes here into this earth, into a mother's womb without decision. You decided, therefore you were born. You selected your parents, therefore you are with that family. You can't blame your parents, you can't blame your circumstances, because you chose. You intended, and that's what you are going to encounter. My dear friends, similarly, which kind of life you want to lead at any given moment depends upon your choice, depends upon how you shape your thinking. As you think, so it becomes. If you want to become an engineer, you will become an engineer. If you want to become a doctor, you will become a doctor. If you want to become a master, you will become a master. If you want to become a soccer player, you will become a soccer player. If your strength of those thoughts, strength of those intentions is perfect, unwavering. So, my dear friends, today we have been focusing on this great truth that is governing all human beings. As you think, so you become. As you intend, as you decide, so it is going to become. As you don't decide, so it is not going to become. As you don't intend, so it is not going to manifest. As you intend, as you decide, as you crave desperately, that's how it is going to become. For each and every person, all the time. My dear friends, my dear masters, and my dear guides, we are all creators of our own lives, our own destinies. our own realities. So, this has to be hammered in our minds. Who is going to hammer in our minds? We got to hammer this in our own minds. We have to keep remembering again and again, the fact that we create our own reality. We fall by our own selves and we rise by our own selves. We rise through our power of thought. We fall through our lack of power of thought. You rise through the power of your intent and you fall through the lack of the power of the intent. You rise through your decisions and you will fall through your lack of decisions. So, whatever it is, if you want to land man on the moon, John F. Kennedy or the whole of America decided that man will land on moon by a specific time schedule, and they did it. That is the power of thought. Can you imagine man landing on moon? Can you imagine man climbing up the Everest? Can you imagine a man crossing the whole Atlantic in a small boat? How did that happen? How is that one single man was responsible for the Second World War? How did he manage such power of intent so that he can whip up the passions of the whole nation? So, my dear friends, that is the power of thought. As you think, so it becomes. As you intend, so it becomes. As you decide, so it becomes. Now this great statement that as you think, so you become, let us study in a little more detail. There are 4 types of thinking patterns. Let me repeat, there are 4 types of thinking patterns. The first one is disastrous thinking. The second one is negative thinking. The third one is positive thinking. And the fourth one, my dear friends, my dear masters, my dear girls, is the miraculous thinking. These are the 4 basic thinking patterns of human beings. Suppose your thinking is always disastrous. For example, for the first time you are going by a bike, by a motorbike, by a car, whatever it may be. No, I am going to have an accident, that is certain. With that kind of a bent of mind, if you go into the driving act, you are certain to land in accidents. It is the first time I am driving in the traffic. I am supposed to fall. I will definitely fall. It is going to happen. That is called as disastrous thinking. You are not supposed to fall whatever. You are not supposed to have accidents whatever. Nothing is supposed by itself. Create that reality through your disastrous thinking, my dear friends. Same thing. In any field, everybody is told that he will be a failure in the beginning. Our parents have told. We have been mesmerized, hypnotized into thinking disaster. Therefore, disasters are happening everywhere, for everybody. They are not destined by any guy. They have been created by their own selves through the power of disastrous thinking. So, my dear friends, you should train yourself, you should train your children, you should train all your friends into this knowledge that never entertain disastrous thoughts in your mind. As a thought arises in the mind, it should be rubbed off, it should be wiped off, it should be cleaned. As you clean the board, blackboard, with a duster, then so you should clean your mind of all disastrous thoughts. All disasters are happening because of the disastrous thinking behind those disasters by the persons concerned in the disaster. The next step is, my dear friends, in the fall of a person is negative thinking. Oh, it may not happen like that. I may not pass in first class. I may not reach my target. I may or may not. That kind of a thing, vacillating thing, is called as negative thinking. I am writing my examinations. I may pass or I may fail. See, at least he has given himself half a chance of passing. So it is that much elevated compared to the disastrous thinking. Now this is called as negative thinking. What happens? He just will fall 1 mark short of passing. Since he himself concluded that I may pass or I may fail, he will be on the borderline. Who created him on the borderline? He himself, because of his negative thinking patterns. As he thought, so he became. It is so with each and every person all the time, my dear friends. Thought is powerful, and the disastrous thought are powerful. Negative thoughts are powerful. Disastrous thoughts attract disasters to ourselves. Negative thoughts bring failures. Disastrous thoughts attract disasters, accidents. Negative thoughts attract failures. So, my dear friends, the third pattern is positive thinking. Yeah, I am going to pass. I am going to succeed. Maybe the first time I am driving in the vehicle. Maybe it is the first time I am driving the vehicle in the traffic. So what? I will come back absolutely safely. There is no problem in that. That kind of a thinking one should adopt. This is called as positive thinking. Yeah, I am going to sit in meditation. I am definitely going to control my mind, no problem whatsoever. No, how difficult it is to control the mind. So that is the negative thinking. It is very, very difficult to control the mind. Rather impossible. When you say it is impossible, that is your disastrous thinking. Mind to control is impossible. What kind of a statement is that? That is typical disastrous thinking. No, I will try. I may succeed in meditation or I may not succeed in meditation. Let us see. Let us try. Either this way or that way it is okay. So you are already a victim of your own negative thinking. This way or that way it is okay. Whether a pass or whether it is a failure, it is okay. Then definitely you are going to fail. No question about it. That is, you have already decided beforehand the results. All results are decided beforehand in your mind. Supposing you are entertaining disastrous thinking, disasters are destined. Suppose you are entertaining negative thinking, failures are destined. They are already decided. Supposing you are entertaining positive thinking, successes are sure. They are destined. You got to maintain your positive thinking. Dilly-dallying, one step forward, two steps backward, that is the nature of negative thinking. Positive thinking, only stepping forward, no going backward in your mind. That is called as positive thinking. That is the only thing that is going to create successes. The fourth stage, the highest stage, my dear friends, my dear masters and my dear girls, that is the miraculous thinking. Oh, you said in meditation you are going to open your third eye. Okay, I will sit and I'll open my third eye. That is the miraculous thinking. Okay, it is the first time I am driving in the traffic. You set your watch, I am going to return, touching the center of the town, I'll come back within 15 minutes, you see. So, for the first time you are going in the traffic, then you come back within 15 minutes. That is miraculous thinking. You have absolute confidence in yourself. Then, of creating a miracle. That is miraculous thinking. Jesus Christ said, whatever I have achieved, you can achieve far greater things. See how he spoke. That depends upon his own miraculous thinking. A master, a grand master, always lives in miraculous thinking. Therefore, he creates miracles. Should you entertain the same kind of pattern of thought, you should create the same. All great grand masters this world has seen have become so because of the power of thought. They went much beyond the power of positive thinking. They were masters of miraculous thinking, my dear friends, my dear masters and my dear gods. So, in the ancient Puranas of Hinduism, you will encounter many persons who decided that they would never die in whatever circumstance. So, they could achieve it. Whatever you want, physical immortality, you would achieve it. I want to live for the same physical body for 10,000 years. Yeah, you do achieve it. You achieve through your miraculous thinking. No human body can live only up to 60 years, 40 years, 50 years. Who told you? You are telling it yourself. You have hypnotized yourself. You let the public hypnotize you into thinking that 3 scores plus 10, that is 70 years, that is the average, and then you are going to die in spite of yourself. Nobody is going to die in spite of himself. Everybody dies because of their own selves. Because they think that they have to die. That is a disastrous thing. The whole humanity is bedeviled with disastrous thinking that, yeah, they got to die, they should die. It is a grand example of disastrous thinking. Then you don't have to die unless you want to die. So, never entertain thoughts of death, my dear friends. Then you will die. As you think, so you become. Your physical immortality or whatever is sustained, created, maintained through your power of thought. My dear friends, my dear masters and my dear gods, let me recap again. There are 4 types of thinking patterns. The first one is disastrous thinking. The second one is negative thinking. The third one is positive thinking. And the fourth one, the best one, the highest one, the most desired one is miraculous thinking. You put yourself into either of these 4 departments. Either in the department of disastrous thinking, or in the department of negative thinking, or in the department of positive thinking, or in the great miraculous thinking. It's your choice. As you choose vegetables in the market, you choose thinking patterns. And you have to cook that and eat it. Whatever vegetable you buy in the market, you bring it home. That's what you are going to cook. And that's what you are going to eat. You can't buy one vegetable in the market and cook another vegetable in your kitchen. And you can't cook one vegetable in the kitchen and eat another vegetable on the dining table. Whatever you are going to purchase in the market, that's what you are going to cook in your kitchen. And that's what you are going to eat on your dining table, my dear friends. Don't purchase disastrous thinking in the market. Don't purchase negative thinking in the market. Don't purchase positive thinking in the market. Purchase miraculous thinking in the market. Then you will cook that in your home and you will eat that, and that's what you are going to become. Whenever you go to a lecture by Jesus Christ, a lecture by a Buddha, a lecture by a Zoroaster, a Hermes, a Krishna, you know what vegetable they are going to give to you? Only miraculous thinking. They don't sell any vegetables of positive thinking, vegetables of disastrous thinking. They are not available with them. Only vegetables of miraculous thinking. That's a master. That is what he sells. That's what he markets. So, my dear friends, that is why Jesus Christ said, whatever I have achieved, you can achieve far greater things. Even if you have a mustard seed, faith of the size of a mustard seed, you should overrun the mountains. That kind of statement indicates miraculous thinking. Mountains can be moved through your faith in yourself. You should practice miraculous thinking. My dear friends, as you practice music, as you practice soccer, so you practice thinking, miraculous thinking. 20 years back or 30 years back, I decided that I should change the whole world. I should teach the whole world what meditation is, what the science of perfect living is. And having decided, having understood the power of thought, then what happened in my own life? Whatever I decided, whatever I concluded, it began manifesting itself. Now, lakhs of people have become meditators, have freed themselves of all doctors, of all medicines. They had activated their respective third eyes. They had seen their own past lives. They changed the lives of so many lakhs of people themselves. So, that's all because of the power of thinking. power of thought, power of intent, power of decision. There is no outside God. The power of thought is the power of God. And you are a God. You are the creator of your thoughts. You are the producer of your thoughts. You are the director of your thoughts. You are the actor of your thoughts. And you are the audience of the power of the thought. You reap the results of your own thought patterns. Nobody else directs your thoughts. Nobody else produces your thoughts for you. Nobody else is going to listen to your thoughts also. You have to produce your thoughts. You have to direct your thoughts. You have to enact your thoughts. And you will reap the results of your own thoughts. Nobody else cares for you. You got to care for yourself. Don't think any Jesus Christ, any Rama, ya Krishna, anybody, anywhere cares for you. Nobody cares for nobody. Everybody has to take care of their own wonderful selves through the power of miraculous thinking. Nobody saves you. Nobody is your savior. You got to save yourself. From what? From your own disastrous thinking. From your own negative thinking. Even your own positive thinking. You have to rise much, much above the power of positive thinking. You must go into the arena, a realm of the power of the miraculous thinking, my dear friends. That's how you are going to achieve whatever you want to have. So, my dear friends, my dear masters, and my dear gods, and my dear creators of the world, of your own lives. Your world is your life. Your life is your world. And you create your world. You create your life by your own thoughts. Thank you very much.